Hey, guess who? Kevin from the Awareness website again, and we've got this week's Classroom Classics 2 for you, and we're going to talk about the transition between moves 19 and 20, and I'm going to let you think about that for a minute without telling you what the moves are. And also too, we're going to talk about the 4 S's of Repulse Monkeys. For those of you who are just trying to figure out the Repulse Monkeys and maybe clean them up a little bit, there's 4 S's that you have to pay attention to. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Alright, you figure out the transition we're talking about? Move 19 is diagonal single whip. Move 20 is fist under elbow. So the transition we're talking about is those 2 little steps in between those 2 moves. Now, it's a very subtle little thing. It's my favorite move, and maybe I'll tell you a little story about it at the end of this video here. It has an interesting thing for me. Diagonal single whip, if we started the set in this direction, diagonal single whip would be facing this way. So you got the 45, your arms are out to the side in line with your right foot. The transition is you step at 90 degrees with this foot and turn forward. Then you step to the 45 degrees, turn to the 45, and then you'll stand up, put your heel down, and fist under elbow. This transition, it's very, like I said, very subtle. You don't want to take a big step. It's just kind of walking through it. It's not like doing a full Toyu stretch or anything like that. And you don't want to take a big step because then you start lunging into it. It's more of this turning kind of exercise that we do, this body rotation exercise. You just move the foot over to 90 degrees, turn the body forward. The hands stay in front of the body, step to the 45, and the hands stay in front of the body. Then you'll stand up, put the heel down in front, and then the fist comes under the elbow as you sit back. So very simple. Don't want to get into the swing the arms this way, swing the arms this way, and then slap it into fist under elbow. Keep the arms in front. When you step, keep the hands in front of the shoulders. When you step here, keep the hands in front of the body. And then when you stand up, just very simply, heel down, fist under elbow. Okay? Now, what follows that is Repulse Monkeys. And there's a lot of things to do in Repulse Monkeys, kind of similar to brush knees, except you're going backwards. And with all the little things that you got to remember to do, I've kind of come up with the 4 S's of Repulse Monkeys. And quite simply, from the fist under elbow, first S is stand up and open the arms. The next step, or the next S, is step back. So you step straight back. Don't swing the foot around. Step straight back. Then straighten out the front foot. So you pivot that front foot on the toe. You straighten the front foot out. And then you sit down. So next Repulse Monkey, or step back to ward off monkey. Stand up. Step back, straighten, and sit down. Stand up, step, straighten, sit down. Those are the 4 S's. If you can remember those, practice them one at a time, and then as you get a little bit more comfortable with it, it starts to smooth out, and it's interesting how much more balanced you'll be when you're doing that. Okay, Shelly's convinced me to tell my little story about that transition. It's my favorite move, and the reason for that is I went to a workshop, and it was my first workshop, so this is back in 1985, my first workshop with Mr. Moy, And he had a translator. His name was Manlock Choi. And interesting fellow, a lot of fun in the workshop. And I was struggling with this move. You know, I'm thinking, oh, you know, what the heck is this for? What do you do with this? I mean, it really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I happened to make the mistake of asking Manlock, what does this mean? And he just sort of looks at me, and, you know, I'm like skinny as a rail kid kind of thing. And he comes up and he grabs me by the arms, just grabs me like this. And he just walks me this way, and then sets me down. And I fold in half this way, and I fold in half this way, and he sets me down, and I'm just like rattled, like I couldn't believe how strong that move was. And it just made me understand how solid and how subtle that move is, but how powerful it is, and just how much force and strength is in that movement of the spine. That's my story. Check us out on our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care. We'll see you again. Bye.